Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Terry. And I'm really excited about the panel that we have assembled here today. I'm at Rocket Fuel, which has a gorgeous facility, and you'll hear more about this company shortly when the panel introduces themselves. But just to tell you how I landed at this particular show, I was actually one of the nominees for the United States of Women, which was the first ever women's summit that was hosted by President and Mrs. Obama. There were over 10,000 nominees that were submitted for this particular summit. And of the 10,000 women that were nominated, I was among one of the ones chosen to attend this phenomenal event. Over the course of a day and a half, they basically presented to us the 6 critical issues that are facing women, not only in the United States, but in the world. We went over 6 critical issues. We talked about issues, potential solutions, next steps, and how we can be more involved in our local community to bring about change in the area of particular areas that are facing women. And one of them was education, and in particular STEM careers, and how can we recruit more minority women to STEM careers? How can we recruit and retain more minority girls to STEM careers? So I'm so excited. We have this esteemed panel, and I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves because I don't want to shortchange them at all. I want them to tell you about all the wonderful things they're doing in the community as far as STEM careers are concerned, and as far as the recruitment and retention of young girls. We also have a college student, and she's so impressive, and I just want her to tell you all about what she's doing in the field, and I'm gonna turn it over to them. So first of all,
hi, my name is Kiwoba Alaire. I'm the founding director at Rocket Fuel Gives Back program, and I run a global philanthropy program. It's an outreach program here at Rocket Fuel. Rocket Fuel is an online marketing company. We do moment scoring, and we build campaigns, online campaigns for companies like Wells Fargo, Lexus, Toyota, Kellogg's, and we do it using artificial intelligence. We have a floor full of PhD engineers that we call rocket scientists, and part of what we do here also is outreach to the community, and our rocket scientists are teaching some of the young kids that we have here for summer camp JavaScript coding, and that's part of also what I do as well. Is I am the founder and CEO of Girl STEM Stars, girlstemstars.org, which is a nonprofit. My core focus is Black girls STEM education, and also youth of color from disadvantaged and at-risk communities.
Hi, my name is Camille Eddy, and I am a senior at Boise State University studying mechanical engineering. I also am an intern at HP this summer in machine learning, and I get to work with robots and artificial intelligence, and it's been really amazing to work with a team. So that's my focus, working with robotics, machine learning, and then even applications for space.
Hi everyone, I'm Leslie Slayton Brown. I'm the Chief Diversity Officer at HP, and I do everything from increasing diversity at the company to fostering inclusion. We look at business impact and the impact that we make through diversity within the company, as well as our compliance and policy. And I'm excited to be sitting here with this rock star, Camille, as one of our interns, because this is what we're doing. We're trying to get more children, more students, college students of color, and women into our workforce.
awesome. Thank you, ladies. I'm so excited to have you here. I'm beaming with pride. And I just want to jump right into the questions. And I'm going to read 2 headlines that I recently, there were articles written about STEM careers and diversity, and I'm going to read the headlines, and then I have specific questions that I want you guys to address. And one of the headlines, it actually read, STEM workforce no more diverse than it was 14 years ago. So think about that for a second. And then another headline read, it's time for Silicon Valley to stop making excuses on diversity. And I think we all know that Twitter in particular, but all of them they've been heavily criticized, Twitter, like I said, in particular, because of their lack of diversity, and especially in upper management. So one of the things that I want you guys, Leslie and Kiwoba, to address is how do you recruit minorities, and not just recruiting, but how do you retain minorities? And then Camille, I have a specific angle for you as far as colleges are concerned. So if you guys could just address recruitment, and not just recruitment, but retention. And then Camille, if you could just talk about the diversity on your campus and in your program, and not just the diversity in the program, but like, are there things on campus that supports your education and that support you as a student pursuing a degree in engineering? And then just other things that are happening or may not be happening on campus, and just how the diversity, recruitment, and retention is from an educational standpoint. So we'll start with you.
So I'm not in recruiting.
Yes, right. But so from the camp angle, from
right, exactly.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
what I'm doing to create create the talent
Right.
that is so vitally needed for these tech jobs in 2030 is by starting young and educating them young with our summer STEM camp.
Okay.
As you ladies saw, the 50 kids running through the office today is our STEM Stars summer camp, and it is for Black and Latino kids. It's co-ed, and we bring them in here to the tech environment for the kids to be able to be immersed and feel the electric vibe of a beautiful campus like this, a tech company, feeling everybody, working, and the engineers and in ground control, and even they get to go to the game room, and they walk around and they're like, wow, what do I have to do what do I have to learn to work here?
Absolutely.
And that's the hook.
Right.
And then, we bring in, amazing teachers. We just got finished with a JavaScript class. And at first the kids are like, oh, that looks hard. And then, at the end of it, we have to drag them away from the computers. They're really having a fantastic time. And then also influential speakers that they can resonate with, such as Ronnie Lott, 49er Super Bowl winner, and also he has a foundation called All Stars Helping Kids. And so he's very much involved in educating and helping the kids in the community. And so we just bring in community, and we bring in our engineers and our executives, and it's one big village that is trying to reach out and give a hand up to kids from diverse communities, at-risk kids, to help them get educated and exposed and inspired into STEM education. And then we throw a little bit of arts in there to make it STEAM.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing at Rocket Fuel, is educating the community, educating these kids, and then maybe we can hire them down the road.
Yes, absolutely. And as far as these camps are concerned, is there a particular age that you target, or what's the age for your camp?
So this particular summer STEM camp is for 5th through 12th grade.
Okay.
And we also have college students from Stanford and from San Jose State University as volunteers.
Okay.
And I also do a girls STEM class on a weekly basis every Wednesday as well.
Okay.
And those girls are 3rd through 8th grade. And that is, a STEM class. The engineers come down, or they get to go up and sit with the engineers and learn,
Awesome.
Java, Python, you name
Right.
it.
And we'll have you give information so that if people want to look into it for their child, we'll definitely do that at the end. And what about you, Leslie? What are you guys
Well, and
doing?
I think that's a great segue, because with what Kiwoba is doing, I apologize for my voice.
It's okay.
But what Kiwoba is doing from an HP standpoint, we want to support these types of organizations. And I think it's very important. I think your headlines that the last 14 years there hasn't been any improvement.
Absolutely.
Our data actually shows that it's been in the last 30 years.
Wow.
And so it is it's an imperative for us to look at the future investment and the current investment. And I would say current investment would be an example of Camille. A future investment for us would be an example of what Kiwoba is doing. And I would venture to guess that a lot of that is not even just your work time, it's your after-hour job.
Oh my gosh,
too,
it's
right?
24/7.
Exactly.
But it does take, other tech companies like HP. Genentech is coming in later today to do a presentation for the kids. And, we had Microsoft and Intel for a Black Youth Hackathon here in February. So it takes all the tech companies having that like mind of wanting to make a difference and actually change.
And I think that that's what the key is, because we look at it from a pipeline standpoint or a pathway standpoint, if you don't prefer the pipeline word. And it is, how do we get our kids excited, motivated, inspired, and pass the baton, keep them going? And I think today one of the things that I see is the lack of accountability with a lot of not only the industry partners, but even some of the nonprofits. And I think that's where we can enhance or help the process along a little bit. And so if you look at an early program that gets them excited about it, gives them exposure to wonderful people, especially women of color, women in general, women of color, men of color, boys of color, it doesn't matter, is the inspiration that they need to get motivated. And I like to say too, sometimes it takes talking about what can you have if you get an engineering degree or a science degree. And if you start there, and if you like those Jordans, it still might be a good career for you, right? Or STEAM even for that matter. So we do many, many things. As I said, we invest in the future and we invest in the present, and being able to look at the programs that we work with and we support, anything from the YWCA to Hour of Code, where we actually bring our employees into the process of going out and volunteering their hours. At HP, you're allowed 4 hours a month for volunteer work.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so volunteers, we get volunteers together. This year, we actually did Hour of Code as a global company. So from Palo Alto to Bangalore, and we have 400 volunteers. We've reached 1,600 students and teachers. And so we're trying to do our part in igniting that fuel for excitement around STEM and around STEAM. And then we invest in our internship program as well. We have a consortium, an MBA consortium that we work with. I think one of the challenges in the industry is we sometimes, all companies recruit from the same top schools. And I think when you look at those headlines that you read off, in order for us to really improve this diversity issue that we have to start looking at how do we hold the companies, the nonprofits, the organizations, the school districts to greater accountability, to work together and be more unified in the effort. And so much like, and we used to do this, many of the companies partnered to get curriculum to the level of which they can recruit from. And so we did that with Stanford, we did that with MIT, we did that with Purdue, we did that with many of the top schools that today the companies are recruiting from. I think we need to go that extra step to start looking at the HBCUs and partnering with them, as well as HSIs, Hispanic Serving Institutions.
Yes.
And then I think we'll start seeing better impact.
And that's what we're doing here at Rocket Fuel with the Gives Back program, is we're partnering with Kenyatta College. And I've had the president and deans and professors come, and we've had conversations on how do we teach what we need to hire.
Yes.
And so what we're doing is we're having the students come here and learn from our engineers, and then we've also sent out engineers to their STEM program to give lectures. And it really does take partnerships with the community colleges.
So partnerships is key.
And that is something that our President Barack Obama has been asking us to do, is to partner with community colleges.
And I love the community college angle. In fact, Camille and I were talking about this, or I think it was you and I were talking about it earlier. The community colleges have been neglected.
Yes.
And in order for us to get, and we, when I did research on how do we broaden participation of underrepresented minorities in STEM and specifically computer science. And one of the things that we found is from an alternative routes standpoint, many brown-skinned and black-skinned men drop out of college at very alarming rates.
Okay.
And they re-enter, if they re-enter, they re-enter through community college, through for-profit schools, or the military. The military is a breeding ground for leadership,
Yes.
right? And
Our veterans.
and strong skills. And so, so those are some of the things that we have to start really taking into account in order to change those headlines that you've read.
Interesting. That's great. That's great information. And Camille, if you can just talk about what's happening on the college campus in terms of what you see in terms of recruitment, perhaps retention in the engineering fields, and just what's happening in that arena.
Sure, yeah. Boise State is really great. I think at the college level, that's a place where you start to learn, what do I need, and where you can start applying that in very specific places. And then at Boise State, I feel like that gives me the opportunity to really fight and strive for what I want, because I have to be the one speaking vocally about what I need and what I want. And that kind of taught me moving into the internship, when you need something, you do speak up. So I think Boise State has been a really great training for that aspect. There's a lot of work to be done still. I think we're coming to a place where we're appreciating the need for diversity, definitely. And there's a lot of work to be done amongst not just administration, but also amongst the students, to be able to start not perpetuating those same ideas, to be able to go out, be vocal, and start changing the mindsets, and hopefully bringing a more fluid mindset. And so retention, that's a big issue that we're gonna be moving forward with very soon, and I hope to be a part of that change, and hope to be encouraging the other students to kind of come along with me and see what I've done, and you can do it too, and kind of encouraging that can-do attitude to my peers.
Absolutely. Thank you. That's great. This is great information, and I hope you guys are taking notes. We're going to give you resources at the end, but the next thing that I want to address is another thing that was really big in the media, and it was actually a Facebook post that went viral. And I'm paraphrasing the post, but there was a mother on Facebook. She made a post that said something to the effect of, she was talking to her daughter, and she told her daughter, marry someone like Mark Zuckerberg. And then Mark Zuckerberg, we all know the founder of Facebook, he saw the post and he actually responded to the post. And he, I'm paraphrasing, said something to the effect that the mom should actually let the daughter know that she should be a Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
And I just
Here to that. We're here to Mark Zuckerberg. That was awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that response
Yes.
because I just want you guys to just kind of talk about that because we're all talking about recruiting girls to STEM careers and not just, marry a Mark Zuckerberg or whoever, but you be that person and equipping them, giving them the tools that they need to be a Mark Zuckerberg and to be female founders and CEOs or whatever, because we desperately need more of that. So we'll start with you, Leslie.
Start with that one. I say good for Mark, first of all.
Exactly.
But I also say, and this is interesting to me because especially when you think about the heightened social issues that are going on right now with racism, it's not about getting Black people or brown people or women or people with disabilities or veterans into technology just because. It's a business imperative. It is about, we are right today lacking in our innovation within the U.S. And so diversity increases the creativity and the innovation, right, in a workforce. And so, so kudos to Mark Zuckerberg for pointing that out, because I say I want to be Camille Eddy when I grow up. Talk about she's going up into space,
right?
And so anyway, I just think that we do have to make more of a concerted effort. It is the beauty of diversity that comes to the table to have your voice. At HP, we really focus on not only getting us there, not only getting women there or women into leadership positions or people of color there, but keeping them and developing them and advancing and promoting them. And so that's a big focus for us. And that means that when you get them there and we look a little different, whether it's our hair, our style, the way we talk, how passionate we are, or whatever, that you appreciate, you celebrate those differences and the diversity. And for that, you have your voice at the table. And for that, you get greater innovation.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And Camille, did you want to address that? I heard something about you going to space.
Well, so my mom was very instrumental in getting me involved with engineering because she encouraged it. And so when I was 12, I saw Mae Jemison, the first Black female astronaut. I saw her story, and then I saw Sally Ride, who was the first female astronaut for NASA, and I decided that I wanted to be an astronaut. And my mom said, do your research. And I said, okay, so to be an astronaut, I have to be this, this, and this. And one of those things was become an engineer. And when we got to Boise, my first year of high school, she picked me up and was like, we're going to Boise State to my first engineering camp. And that very first day we met former astronaut Barbara Morgan, another female astronaut. And my mom sat down with Barbara Morgan for like an hour after everyone had left. She's like, so what does my girl need to do to become an astronaut? And from there on, she felt empowered to empower me to go ahead and keep going. So mother roles play a really important part.
Absolutely. She said her mom was empowered to empower her to push towards a STEM career. So that's very important. Moms, caretakers, is that when we see something in our child, that we encourage them down that road, because that's very key. And did you want to say something about that?
It's also providing the opportunity, like we're doing here at Rocket Fuel with these STEM classes and these STEM camps, to expose these children, because the parents can want the best for them, but until they actually come into the tech company, and even the parents are like, oh wow, I didn't even know this was out here. Well, what would I have to do to get my kid to work at a company like this? It's exposing them, and it's not just for to get into that college or to get into that tech job, but it's also a way of life that these kids have not been exposed to. We're blessed to be able to live a very, we live a rich life if you look at it, I get to go paragliding and, I jump off a mountain and I don't see anybody that looks like myself. And it's really fun. I can fly in the air for an hour and I enjoy this, and I don't see other Black people or Latino people doing it because it's a very STEM-related sport.
Yes.
Scuba diving. I went scuba diving on vacation. I had a great time. I was holding hands with my husband under the water, and I didn't see any other Black people, not one.
Right.
And they were all looking at me like, oh, who's that? Is she here to help him carry his tank? No. This is a part of life that these kids have not been exposed to. I show the video of myself underwater, swimming, with the fish, and the kids are like, no, do you realize how much STEM is on my back, in my mouth?
Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
Playing golf.
Yeah.
Why is it there one Black guy that's out there playing golf, and we're all like, yay! Playing tennis. There's 2 Black women out there playing tennis. Come on. There is STEM behind every aspect of your life. And this is what I'm trying to teach these kids. This is my model. It's not just to get a great job. I had my pediatrician come in here to teach a class, and she said, I met my husband in a science class. I used to love to cut up frogs, and he liked to cut up frogs too. And there you go, STEM affected my life that way. Exactly. STEM is in everything.
Yes, that's great. That's a great point. And you kind of touched on something where you said you went paragliding and you didn't see anybody who looked like you. And we actually kind of touched on that with STEM careers earlier, where Leslie broke down a number about the number of women, but not just the number of women, but when you talk about minority women in STEM careers, what was the number? Was it 2%?
Oh gosh, it was 2%.
2%.
Right? Yeah.
And we were just talking about how isolating is that? Because when you think about 2% of Black women in STEM careers, that means that if you're working for a company like this, you potentially are like the only one.
Exactly.
That's extremely
Exactly.
isolating.
I do not see anybody that looks like myself on a daily basis.
Wow.
I'm used to it,
Yes.
but it's a shame.
It is.
It's a shame.
It
And
is.
quite frankly, sometimes I feel guilty when I go to yoga class every day or
Right
we've
here
got
at, wait,
food
wait,
truck-
yoga right here at work.
Yeah, honey.
She goes to yoga right here at work. And I was peeping, just to let you guys know, all the food, which is free, right?
Yeah.
Free food.
There's an Olympic-sized pool.
Oh my God.
We have Food Truck Fridays,
Which
and
is
I'm like,
free.
Food Truck Fridays are free.
Food Truck Fridays, which is free. That means you don't have to worry about meal prepping and fixing your lunch, which was always a big thing for
We've
me.
got a volleyball team, soccer team.
Wow, right here on-
cricket team,
Wow.
and I get to enjoy all of this, and I get to work with the
Right.
best minds in the world, with the smartest
Right.
minds in the world here,
Absolutely.
and I feel guilty because I'm like, where are my
She's
people?
having so much fun.
Yes,
and it's
where
all
are my
work.
people?
So she's
The work.
She's getting paid to have fun. So you hear how much fun you can
We
have
are
in a
working
STEM
here.
career.
Yeah.
Right, we are working, and they're having fun at the same time. So this is just an encouragement to people out there watching. Just look into it. Just pursue it. Go to a STEM camp. We're going to give you some information to look up at the end if you think you might be vaguely interested in a STEM career.
Over everything.
So I'm free from crying, free from my depression. Put my faith inside your love. Now I'm reaching for my blessing.
I'm crossing over. I've crossed over. I put the crossover over.